Thank you so much for joining us today for Retail Summit. My name is Goldstein, and I'm going to be the person here behind the scenes interviewing a lot of our entrepreneurs, guests, and experts. The idea behind Retail Summit was really put together by myself and a lot of the leaders through independent associations around the country that wanted to see people that were presenting products have real-world expectations about what can go right, what can go wrong, and how to forecast and to look ahead so that they can be the most successful when getting started. A lot of people, they really go into this with ideas that were put there from, Shark Tank and The Profit, other business shows, which are always kind of skimming the surface. But knowing what goes behind that, knowing the logistics, the funding basics, how to structure a company that will be successful, and how to anticipate what can be successful in the future, all of those things really come from experience. And you see it time and time again. The people with experience have a much easier time launching a product than ones that don't. So what we wanted to do in a very small way is put together a group of experts, the people maybe behind the scenes that you don't hear from that often, that know the details, know the pallet heights, know the package weights, know the correct LLC versus S Corp to structure your business so that you can anticipate what's going to go on in the future and how to best prepare for that. On our side, we run a company called Mr. Checkout, and we see a lot of businesses that aren't prepared for that success. They go into Walmart way too early. They get placed on a national level, and they don't understand that the markdowns or the buybacks or the marketing needs that their product requires, and they don't have that built into their price during negotiation. They don't set that hard no stop line during negotiation where they can't go below that price or they won't be profitable. And a lot of times, newer companies with newer products, they go through that, they build a really great following, a great brand, they build traction online, and they go into a big box retailer where it doesn't necessarily move as fast because the education component's not there. Somebody going into the store isn't necessarily looking for the product. It's not a destination item. But at the end of the day, it gets marked down, it gets charged back, the freight after paying that, and the entrepreneur ends up losing money on the deal or going out of business in some bad cases. Our goal is to really prevent that on the front end. I think that there's a real value to spreading your eggs in multiple baskets, starting smaller through independent retail, getting that traction on a national level so you know how your product is going to sell in Seattle versus Maine versus Miami versus Texas. Knowing the product demographics, which part of the store it's going to perform best in. Maybe it'll perform better in a hotel or at an amusement park than it will in a grocery store or a convenience store. So knowing the different paths to market and spreading yourself wide will establish a really strong base for the company, establish knowledge across multiple areas that sometimes you have to learn the hard way for, but it's also the right way to build. Building slow is most often the right way. However, it is challenging for an entrepreneur, somebody that's really gung-ho about their idea, to slow down and to realize that if they get a purchase order, how are they going to fund that? Sometimes that's the kind of thing that puts an early stage company out of business. But what we've seen as successful on our end is for somebody to spread themselves wide, not thin, but wide, with experience and customers that like them in multiple areas, so that when they go up to a major retailer, they can point to their success so far, they can show which regions do best, what part of the store does best, and they have that tangible knowledge that they can really bring to that table. Because at the end of the day, your goal is to de-risk a retail buyer's purchase. That's all it is. The hesitancy that a retail buyer has if they have the space for it and it's the right time of year to present it to them, is often, will it sell? And the more that you can de-risk that will it sell question, the more successful you'll be at retail. But that goes for Walmart, Target, as well as the smaller independents that you're going to be speaking with on the phone through a number of our associations. These independent businesses across the country, they take their business as seriously as Walmart takes their business. They may not have the buying power or the length of purchase, but the decision is still as serious for that owner. So to take it seriously and to conduct yourself in a professional manner, which they want to see, is really the goal here. Now we're going to have people come on that go over sales, that go over networking, that go over how to build your product in store and how to find a trend and really attach yourself to that trend, as well as PR. So there's a lot of different ways that you can learn through Retail Summit, and I appreciate you joining us today. I hope that we get your feedback on this. That's all we're really looking for. So if you got a free ticket today by sharing our information, I appreciate it. The way that you can tip us is by shooting us an email, letting us know what you'd like to see for next year or next quarter, and what we can do better to convey our information to you. Because at the end of the day, our goal is very much to bring products to a point where they can best explain their competitive advantage in a way that a buyer can say yes, no, and if no, here's why. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you enjoy.